All right, what's up, everybody? Nicholas Atkins, South China Morning Post. We are not live here. We're in Singapore at the One Farah Hotel with the man Christian Lee, one championship, lightweight champion. He's going for another belt, the welterweight belt here. Christian, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thanks for joining me again. It's been a while since I've seen you in person. We are back. Tom's behind the camera here. I think you spoke to him a few weeks ago, but I haven't interviewed for a while, so I just want to get a general catch up with you. How has life been? You've reclaimed that title in emphatic fashion, and now you're going for a champ status.
Well, everything's been good so far. In terms of my life at home, better than ever. It's great. I got my wife and my daughter here with me in Singapore. And recently I was able to reclaim my lightweight title. So that was a very good moment for me in my career as well.
Yeah, you can't see it, everyone, but there's a whole family behind the camera here. They've come to support him. How much does it mean to have everyone here with you? It's like a whole team, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to have everyone here. A few times during COVID, I fought. We were literally confined to our rooms. We had to be escorted out of our room anywhere we went. My whole family had to stay back home, and now you can hear my daughter in the background. We got my whole family, my whole team here with me, and it's great. It's a positive environment, and this is the only way that I like to travel for my fights.
Yeah, and Angela's here as well with Bruno. Bruno's obviously fighting. It's been a while since you've both been kind of around the same card, is that right?
Yeah, it has been. We fought on the same card. I believe it was about 2 years ago. And so, here again, it's nice that we were able to do our training camps together at the same time and fly up together as well. So I'm really excited for Bruno. I think that he's got a good matchup ahead of him, and I'm excited to see how well he does.
I know you probably can't give me an answer. I've heard rumors that maybe Angela's going to be back sooner than anyone might think. Can you give us any information?
Angela, she's training, and I think that whenever she's ready, she's going to take another fight. But for now, I don't have any news on that. That's completely up to her.
I've got to try. All right, well, you're fighting Kiamrian Abbasov, and he obviously has said a few things to I think it was to you, Tom, or it was just to One Championship's website, saying that division is different. You're going to find out when you fight him that it's a whole different level to what you're experienced to in lightweight. So what do you make of that?
I think it's only natural that him being a welterweight and the champion of welterweight, I think it's natural that he's going to feel that way. But I have a really different approach to fighting, I feel like, than most other fighters. For me, the weight divisions really don't mean too much. Of course, there's a reason that they're set in place. But just the way that I approach the fight game is it doesn't matter if they're 10 pounds heavier than me, 20 pounds heavier than me. I would take the fight. If he was 20 pounds heavier than me. It wouldn't make a difference. For me, I think that a fight is a fight, and it doesn't matter who's bigger or smaller. I think the person who's more prepared and more ready to execute their strategy is the one that's going to win and the one that's going to come out on top. So it's nothing new to me. When I came up to lightweight, I was a little bit small for the division. Everyone in lightweight thought that I was going to be too small for that division as well. And so now moving up again for my second time, moving up to welterweight, I'm sure that many people in the welterweight division think the same thing, but I'm not concerned what anyone else thinks. I'm just here to do my job.
What do you think of his last performance against Reinier de Ridder? Obviously, de Ridder, pretty dominant victory in the end. Did you take a lot from that? Have you been studying that match, or do you not read too much into it, given he was going up again to middleweight?
Well, I did watch that fight. And I thought that it was a great performance on de Ridder's part. I do think that the fight could have been a lot closer if Abbasov was able to play his game in terms of pulling off the strategy I think that he wanted to play in that game. And I think that what he wanted to do was, of course, to land heavy strikes to defend the takedowns. But de Ridder did a great job in closing the distance early on. From the first round, he was able to take him down. And so that really changed a lot of the fight. For me, it's not so much. I don't think that it was a factor of weight or size. I think that de Ridder just did a very good job in closing the distance and bringing Abbasov into his world. So, I don't think that it's the result was because of Abbasov stepping up in weight. I think it was more just more just a strategical error on Abbasov's part, and for De Ridder, it was a good job on his part.
Does it give you some sort of blueprint of how to be that guy? Are you going to do your own thing?
Of course, anytime a fighter loses, you want to watch that fight and see how their opponent was able to capitalize. But for me, I feel like I'm a different fighter than De Ridder. We have some similarities in the grappling world, but I think it's going to be a different fight. I think that I'm going to be able to bring a different game to Abbasov than he's faced before.
I can't wait to see it. I have to ask you as well. I'm not sure if you've already spoken about it, but there was a long-time rival that you never actually ended up fighting. So I guess he's not a rival, but we all want to see it. You and Eddie Alvarez in one. He's now left one championship. Are you disappointed you're not going to get that chance to have what could have been a legacy fight for you? I think if you got that victory, it would have maybe been a real, high point of your career. Not to say that everything else hasn't been, but it was like maybe one of the biggest names you could have defeated.
Yeah, for a while, there was a lot of talk about me and Eddie fighting, and he's definitely a fighter that I would have loved to face in the circle. But, the thing is, it just didn't line up. I quickly made my way up to the top of the lightweight division, and Eddie was, he was trying to get a shot at the title, but he just, he came up short on a few of his chances. He had the unfortunate ending with Yuri Lapkus, and then he faced a decision loss to Oak, and so that's why we were never able to face in the circle. But I'm not upset about it. I wish Eddie all the best. He did a great job in his career. He won almost every belt that he could have won out there. Aside from the one belt, but he's on a different path than I am right now. So no bad feelings towards it.
If you get this second belt, then tell me what the plan is. Are you going to defend both? Are you going to prioritize one division? How long before we see you back at lightweight? Is there a rough plan already?
If I win the belt, when I win the belt, which I'm planning on, I plan on staying active in both divisions. I plan on defending both belts. So now my next step after this fight will be to go back to lightweight and defend the belt there. Yeah,
and anyone kind of jump off the page for you there? You've already sort of cleaned the division out, but we've seen some new blood with Khalil Amir. Good victory over Tim Nastasiukin last time here in Singapore.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's most likely it's going to be one of the new contenders. I think that the match between Seguid and Shinya is going to be an important fight. I think that if Seguid is able to win that match, then he'll be next in line for the title. And Khalil Amir, he did a great job in knocking out Timofey, but I think that he's going to have to fight one more time against somebody in the rankings before he gets the shot. So most likely going to be the winner of Seguid and Shinya.
What about Daggy? Is he still in the mix?
Yeah, of course, Daggy's in the mix. He was, I've seen him at the top 1 and number 2 spot in the contenders for the last few years. Yeah, so he's a very dangerous opponent. But the thing is, he hasn't been active. He hasn't been actively fighting. So, I think you could see Daggy fighting a guy like Khalil Amir, who just came into the rankings. And I think that would make for a great fight for the number 1 contender as well.
Yeah, and some people, he sort of said after you beat him that he wasn't his best. He was ill, and he thinks he could beat you. If he's 100%, do you think he's making excuses, or would you be happy to have a rematch eventually?
No, I don't think that he's making an excuse. I'm sure that if he felt that he was not performing at his best, then that's the truth. But the fact is, I took that fight on 10 days' notice as well. So I was far from my best in that fight also. I definitely think that he's still one of the top guys in the lightweight division. So we'll see. It could just be one more big fight in the division before he gets another title shot. So he's definitely on my radar.
And I think that last fight especially, you've finally erased, there were a few doubters throughout your career who've always doubted you, and I think now you've really cemented yourself as, probably the pound for pound best in one or the top 2 at least. What does that mean to you, and what would a win on Saturday really do for your entire legacy in one?
This fight coming up, absolutely, it's the biggest fight of my career, and that's how I treat every fight ahead of me. But this one is really something special. It's a big opportunity, and the chance to fight for a second world title, to be a 2-division world champion, it's just a such a big moment, such a big opportunity for my career, and yeah, I've trained really hard for this fight, so I'm hoping that all the work that I put in is able to pay off, and if I win this belt, it's definitely going to be a very special moment for me in my career.
All right. Well, can't wait to see it. Christian Lee, thank you so much for joining us. Cheers.
Thank you.